Good evening, and welcome to the Children of the Most High. I don't know what happened to Shannon. She was there a second ago. Are you there, girlie? We've had technical issue after technical issue, guys. I'm on my second microphone for the day. Not sure that it's the microphone. Think it may be the laptop. What has happened to Shannon? She appears to be blacked out over there. Good to see you all tonight. I see you in the crowd. Cash and Big E and Kay. Who else we got in here? Oh, and Shannon has left the room. Shannon will be back in the room. Tonight we're going to be discussing a little bit of the Pluribus. Hello, Governor.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Wow. I was there and it was not registering anything. That was very bizarre. And I don't know if there were technical issues on your end with the intro, but I kind of got that. But oh well, here we are. We made it.
I was telling everyone hello tonight.
Yes. Hello and welcome, children of the Most High. I do not have my camera on tonight. I know that is not usual for me in my show on this platform here, but I am still not exactly 100% here. It's been a rough week. So I am still here, though. Roxy and I, no matter how awful we've been feeling, we have just been like, you know what? We're not going to stop. We are still going to come on here and flap our mouths because apparently there's something important to say, enough for the enemy to keep messing with us. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, I have two Blue Yeti microphones here. One of them is brand new and one of them is older. I have new cords, I have new everything. And every time I plug one in, it's trying to kill my mic. It's trying to shut my mouth.
Yep. And unlike last time, I feel like my tablet is very hot. It worked out great for your show on Tuesday, but today it's like, woo. I'm like,
Hi,
okay.
Leslie. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we're going to kind of dive into the data center debacle. We, as you know, people who do shows like Shannon and myself and Daniel and Jesse and some of the others and a lot of the people we watch, the First Amendment is not as First Amendment as it used to be, we'll say. So we have decided to keep ourselves from being suppressed. The title of our show will be that it's a show decode. And yes, we will talk about it for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then we're going to move on to something interesting or more interesting than a show decode. So just so you know, it will not be in the description, it will be in the thumbnail. So that's how we're going to do it from now on, folks, because we're trying not to get pushed down and hushed up because it's happening.
Mm-hmm. It is.
We are
But
going to use their tool against them,
that's how we can do in the mighty name of Yeshua.
and we rebuke all the microphone demons. Go away.
Mhm. Any of the tech demons, any of
Of
you,
them.
any of you, you do not belong here.
All right. Well, if any of you are following along with the actual Pluribus show, we are now on episode 4. Which is
Yes.
another one I had to stop. I had to stop and text Shannon when I started watching this one. I'm like, "Oh, girl, she's about to dose her with some drugs."
Right? My favorite part though, honestly, is how she tests it on herself first. You know?
Yep.
Sorry, I just had to. But so, right, in the previous episode, we realize that they'll give her anything. They'll give her a grenade even when she's being sarcastic. And so she ends up blowing up her house, and the hive through Zosha saves her. But Zosha, the physical body, is all messed up. So she's at the hospital. But during all of this, as she questions another one of the hive minders who comes to sit down with her, she starts asking him, so would you get me a bazooka then? Like really trying to reason with them, like for these beings who are so supposedly incredibly intelligent, there's no common sense and they cannot lie about it. In essence, they can withhold information, although, and this is part of what we kind of find out, and the links that Carol goes to get this information is through the means that, in the gateway program all of us kids had to endure, and CIA spy stuff, got the truth serum going on. And
Uh-huh.
even when she goes to try to get the the stuff from the pharmacy department in the hospital, when she's trying to work her way, manipulate her way to get, a syringe and to not be caught, she goes all into trying, like, I'll get me some heroin. He's some H, man, and he's
They
trying
just
to
bring it.
talk her out of it. But he tries to talk her out of it, like to give, like to put some sense into it. And she's like, "Hey, you didn't do that at all when you gave me a hand grenade. So what? Now you're gonna not give me this? You're gonna change all of a sudden?" And so he still ends up getting it to her, which she dumps out. The whole thing is she's figured out a way to get information out of them. And
Are you rubbing something against your microphone?
oh, sorry, I do apologize. Oh my gosh. Okay, but so here's the fun part. Like, you've mentioned this scene several times, where she comes back and all these people are helping to put together back her house,
It,
including the mayor,
it's
right?
crazy. Yeah, they're like little worker ants.
Well, this one guy who ends up, because she asks one of them to come in and interrogates them, like a volunteer to interrogate. She gets this guy, and she ends up finding out that even though they cannot tell a lie, they still try to dance around telling truths that are going to be hurtful or maybe mess up the manipulation tools they have and making her completely happy and compliant, which is kind of my take on it. But eventually she does get the truth out of him, when it comes to some personal things about Helen. But I find that scene to be very intriguing because there are definite ways that they try to dance around things, and it feels more manipulative the more I watch it and the more I look back on these episodes.
The more I look back, it reminds me of being in a relationship with a narcissist.
There
Mhm.
you go.
The manipulation and the control and the just whatever it takes to make you say, okay, it's okay, it's okay. We'll just move on and smile about it. And it all happens again and again and again. It really begins to feel like she's in a relationship and everybody else on the planet is a narcissist.
Right. Now, something else I wanted to really bring up about this particular episode is you get more glimpse into the man from Paraguay, or Paraguay, however you pronounce that. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. But you see him really very apprehensive with these beings, of course, and he is diligently looking through these frequencies on the radio once again. And we bring that up a lot. But it really hits home to me that he is doing such intensive work on that. Like, he knows there's something to do with that. And because he had to have been part of the hive for a little bit, he had to have to just know to go down this route, that there was even a way to detect this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That makes sense to me, which is why he knows his mother is not his mother, because the character who
It's
you gets
nice.
introduced today, right? The character who gets, brings him food and he still repels it, is his mother, and he knows not to trust her. He knows that, and it's like he hasn't even necessarily talked to them. He hasn't given them any kind of interaction whatsoever, but yet he knows. And that just, it really hones in on that. And when Carol calls him, because it gives a recap of that, but on his end and what was actually said, he can tell that she's not one of them, because she just cusses him out in an emotional rage, and he knows that they don't have emotion. So that, I thought, was a very key thing. And I think one more thing that I'll bring up before I just let you go off on whatever on that is, in the end, because the episode is called Please Carol,
Mhm.
when she is, interrogating her with the truth serum and all that, all the hives start, like, who's around, they all start enclosing in on her, and they start chanting, "Please, Carol, please, Carol." But I noticed towards the end, it sounds more to me like, "Please help."
Mhm. It sounds a lot more like a "Please help us, Carol" than a "Please stop, Carol."
Exactly. So this to me is really honing in on the soul snatching aspect of this. Like, all they can really do is grasp on to information like these data centers, right? But this information, this data is not emotion, it is not the human essence, it is not the soul.
No, it's just facts.
It's just facts, just memories, just data.
Well, and the thing about the whole collective consciousness in this, which is a data center, so to speak, we see so many things in this show that you can compare to a lot of real world things we got going on. But when it comes to a data center, it doesn't matter how much data you have in it. If there's nobody learning anything new, there's no new data. So progression and advancement of a civilization stops. Because even if you had the collective knowledge of everybody and you could use it together, the way this hive mind works, they don't do anything but try to take care of the 12 people, 13 people left on Earth to try to get them to join in whatever their needs are, other than just basic survival. And they're all sleeping on sleeping bags in a big old football stadium in whatever city they live to conserve resources.
Well, and see, right, that this brings up a point, right? They have all of these collective memories and this data and all this stuff. They still have like no desire to enjoy any of it. They act like they're just so elated and so happy and just content, but yet the information seems useless when sure they'll use it for some efficiency things, but they're not enjoying any of the things that they are getting that information with. Like,
They're just
what's the use? Right.
it is literally, if you think about the hive, the collective, the whatever you want to call them, you could take some of those, robots that feller Elon made and just program them, hook them up to a data center. I mean, that's essentially what everybody except those 13 are. They're just walking, talking robots based off of a collective memory of the world, but there'll never be any advancement, and we're not even sure that there would be any more reproduction of the species at this point.
See, and here, and that's just the thing is, it's not like it's like they're just vessels and they
They have
cannot
no autonomy.
harvest things, they cannot take care of themselves in essence in the long term, right? So they're just literal parasites collecting data.
Uh-huh. Sound like anything else you know in this world, just parasites.
Collecting data
I'm really
that
beginning to think
need,
well,
huh?
I'm really beginning to think that I don't know, and this sounds crazy. I've noticed that we have bacteria and we have viruses. You know, when we grew up, you always heard the old wives' tale, "Don't go out with your hair wet, it'll make you sick. Don't walk
Oh,
outside barefoot when it's cold, it'll make you sick." No, it won't. No, it won't. How is it possible because my scalp is wet, I'm gonna get pneumonia? That is just scientifically not possible.
oh, there's still a whole lot of places around the world who still very much so believe in these old wives' tales.
Well,
Fun
I
fact, in Italy, they're very much so about that, and they're very like, if you get cold, that is a bad sign, and they're really afraid they're gonna get sick. They're very much about that. Oh.
Yeah, that was like today. My hair was wet, and Willie's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm sitting on the front porch." He said, "Didn't you just say you got out the shower?" I said, "Yeah." It's cold here today, folks. Last week we had on flip flops and shorts. We're expecting snow in a couple of days. We have the craziest weather here. And he's like, "You're going to get sick." I said, "Please explain to me scientifically how my wet scalp is going to make me sick. The chemtrails in the air might absorb more into my scalp because it's damp. My pores are open, but the cold air is not going to do it, sir." There are
Yeah.
virus and bacteria, and I'm really beginning to think that the whole virus thing is just parasites, microscopic parasites, because every virus I run across, it seems to be that you can beat it with the Mectin stuff.
And see, I think if we really look at it on a spiritual level, right? These parasites are just demonic beings sucking out your energy so you are easy to reap of the soul. Like, if you're weak and you don't see the light and don't believe you can call out to God, which is a total lie that they make you believe. If they compel your fleshly desires to distract you from what's important, and they just suck out everything, they're weakening you to reap your soul.
Well, Shannon and I have a challenge for everybody. Everybody has a Bible in your home. Some of us have multiples. I think I have like 8. I got all different kinds because I don't trust any of them but one anymore. That's the Ethiopian version. What is it, Shannon? Matthew 17:21?
Matthew 17:21. That is correct.
Go look it up and see if it's in your Bible, folks. If you will look, most Bibles go Matthew chapter 17, verse 20, and it'll jump to 22. Would you like to know why? Chapter
I would.
verse 21, verse 21 tells you how to heal yourself from disease. It was the words of Jesus, but it has just been left out, omitted, and not spoken of. And people are starting to figure out that there's lots of Bible verses in the KJ version versus the Ethiopian that you're realizing that it's skipping numbers on you. It's leaving like whole verses out in chapters. It's kind of out there when you
Hmm.
start looking.
Hmm. And what does it say? It says to fast and pray.
Yeah.
To fast. Why do you need to fast? And what exactly is fasting? And is it always what we've been told? Because fasting can be, it's withholding from consumption.
Well, and in the standard to my understanding from what I've studied, the version of fasting, which the world we live in today would be no food, no drink, no caffeine, no nicotine, no sugar, no substance of any kind. And if you truly wanted to fast and pray, if you think about it in the Bible, every time we'll say characters, because there's all different characters. They were real people, but different characters in the Bible would leave and go into the wilderness for 40 days or 30 days. And the only thing they had was manna, which nobody has ever truly decided what that was. But no food, no drink, no nothing. We as human beings are not made to eat 3 meals a day.
Mm-mm.
The food industry told you that. The food industry told you that you need to eat 3 times a day, and then they started selling you snacks and soft drinks. And I'm guilty. I ain't gonna. I'm not getting
Right.
drinking. There's a Mountain Dew sitting on my desk right now. I'm a Mountain Dew junkie, and I've been hooked on this stuff since 2005. I'm worse than some of these addicts out here. But I watched a young man today who was explaining that regardless of what your health ailment is, that the best way, there are two ways that you should be working on healing yourself. If you fast, go stand in the water, like a creek or a river or whatever that you can get into barefooted on the shore. Ground yourself in natural spring water to absorb the minerals and ground yourself to earth. And doing that as long as you can will do more for healing than any of them white coats could probably ever do.
Right. And like withholding from consumption of the things of this world is really, the foods, the radio waves, the microwaves, the other waves, all of that. We don't ever do that. And you know how often I think to myself, oh, all I want to do is just drive up to the mountains and just kick it there for a little bit by myself without any technology. And it's like I never do because I'm so busy and there's always stuff to do. But you just don't consume anything. You don't need to bring anything with you. It's you and God. And you're not bombarded by the world and you're not consuming the world.
Well, and I've seen so many people that are talk about they built these Faraday rooms, and when they come out of them, it's like they're bombarded with thoughts that they know aren't theirs. And I seen a woman today, she said, "I can't afford to build a Faraday room." She went to the Walmart or grocery store or wherever it was, and you know the scrubby pads that you get for your dishes, the copper ones?
Uh-huh.
She got her a couple of those and, like, stretched it out and put it over her head. So now not only do we need a tinfoil hat, we need it lined with copper.
Oh my goodness. That's ingenious though. That's great.
Yep, she took the charbroil thing and, like, stretched it out as a skull cap. She layered it, and then she put a baseball hat on, which her baseball hat was lined with the, silver thermal whatever,
Right.
and she's like that was the best she could do for a Faraday cage. She couldn't afford the whole room, but she made a hat.
There you go. There you go. Oh my
I
goodness.
seen an experiment one time where these kids took a box, just a cardboard box, wrapped it in aluminum foil. And you know how you plant a lima bean in a cup and the lima bean will grow? We all did it in school.
Yeah.
They did it in two cups. One of the boxes had no internet that could get to it. It was Faraday caged. And they had one that was, yeah, Mylar Wayne, next to the Wi-Fi router. The one that was secluded from any type of internet signal grew 3 times the size of the other one.
See, this does perfectly tie into the other subject matter we kind of wanted to get into because as we're
28
going
minutes,
to
we can
be
move on to the good stuff now.
right as we're being more and more inundated with the 5G, 6G, all that stuff, now we're facing this insane dilemma of these data centers and what it is doing already to the environment, yes, but our resources and how, of course, they're pinning all of that cost on us for those resources. But all of these things are becoming in more and more demand, as they say. And as they're going to construct more and more of these smart cities and more of, the tech things and more AI drop, because remember the big, beautiful bill, right? That was just signed. And what that all entails, it's all AI related. We are going to be dealing with more and more inundation with all of this tech and what it's going to do to our resources, our bodies, our mental state, and the every little social day construct around us. And I found there are a lot of ways to find if you are kind of up on that list in your community. If you know, it was there anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, Shannon, would you like to tell them what you discovered that the big, beautiful ballroom actually is?
Oh, yeah, the big beautiful ballroom, which connects very well now to this big beautiful bill, is really just a topper to house a brand new data center. That's correct. Because why? They have to have all that AI power right under there. It's got to be in a specific location. And yeah,
Well,
that's what that's for.
I've seen the estimates of what these data centers use in water to keep it cool. But I have a bigger question on the water. We talked about giants, Nephilim, and Noah, and a flood, and some big old trees.
Mm-hmm.
I feel confident in the book that I believe in that tells me we believe up under a firmament, which would tell me I'm basically in a biodome. And the reason that dinosaurs were not dinosaurs, they were dragons, and they were so much larger than everything else. You have to think about it on scale, or at least I do in my mind. If you look at these tabletop mountains that are actually tree stumps, anybody that still believes that's a mountain, you need to send me an email. We'll have a personal talk. I'll break it all down for you because that ain't a mountain, honey. That's a tree stump all day long. Anyway, I can show you the cellular structure. The Himalayan mountains, and we're gonna give another one of these word etymologies, is a titan that is laying down, and they are
Mm-hmm.
taking the salt that used to be his muscle tissue. But let's look at the etymology of Himalayan. Him a layin.
Sorry.
Himalayan on his side. He lay down. Himalayan.
That was really funny.
The etymology is right there in front of us. We looked at one
Mhm.
the other day. But anyway, all of these things, if you think about the fact that the water consumption that it's going to take, everybody's like, oh, it's going to burn up all the water. It's going to burn up all the water. Let's think back then. They whacked off the trees. All right, you see these mountains with waterfalls coming out of them that are, it's not snow melting, it's not rainwater, it's coming from somewhere. Well, when you have extremely large trees, their tap roots will go into underground reservoirs. Now, you talking about trees the size of mountains, these tabletop mountains. That water comes down, goes down the mountains where some of them be a laying on their side now, and it eventually runs back to the ocean. But as water is consumed or used, there's going to be less water, which means more land will surface. Because if we're starting from the flood back then and coming to now, the water is still, I do believe the water is still coming to its previous level. That's why you're seeing all of these cities, ancient cities, where rivers are drying up and shorelines are backing up. I don't think we're in any crisis. I think we're just still in the receding of the last flood. Does that make sense to you, Shannon? Shannon, did you
Yes, sorry. I was looking. I'm trying to search for some. I have some great pictures of what we're talking about with these mountains with Himalayan and
Yeah, him laying on
Heralayan
his
and other
side.
creatures laying. There's okay, if you guys ever get a chance to look at the island of Crete, there is what they call the dragon rock. And I mean, it is a literal dragon's head. And you can see the spinal cord that had been severed. And then a few feet behind you, you can see the rest of the body. And it literally, you can see the hair on this dragon. Okay, like the
Mhm.
detail on this is insane. In Iceland, there are all kinds of creatures, that like big giant elephants, troll like beings, all kinds of stuff like that, that are, you can see on the elephants, like the skin, the texture of the skin, the detail on it is incredible. There's one that is literally called the sleeping giant in Kaz. I believe that's Turkey. There are just so many examples to where there is no denying that is a giant being, creature,
Hang on a
body
second.
parts.
Cash, you are an extremely intelligent man. You probably just saved me buying a laptop. I never thought about that. The one
What?
plug that my PC is plugged into does not have a natural ground. This house was built in the '60s. That's one of the outlets that hasn't been changed. You are a smart, smart man. Thank you, Cash.
Yay! You solved the
And
mystery.
we gotta move the office around again. But yes, I'm sorry if there's any feedback, guys. Evidently, Cash has solved the mystery. The demon is coming from the electrical outlet.
You're not grounded.
uh,
Well, shoot.
Trust me, I'm on the second mic today and several cords trying to fix this. But now we know, Cash, that makes complete sense. It's the only outlet in here that's not grounded. I've got an adapter because it doesn't have a ground. But yes, Shannon, I've seen a lot of those where you can, I mean, they're all over the world.
Mhm.
They're titans. Okay, the one that I've actually been here, and I think maybe this is one of the ones that like fascinates me. Mount Pilot, North Carolina, which is a few hours from me. I've actually been there because of Andy Griffith. But you can see Mount Pilot. It's flat top. It's a tree stump all day long. I've
Right.
seen videos. Yeah, Cash did an excellent job there, Mike. I've seen videos of like people hiking up it and looking at it and getting up close and touching it. And right there in that area is one of the biggest granite quarries on Earth. They claim you can see it from the satellites in outer space, but the low orbit satellites that are within the firmament, they can see it from there on the Google Earth images. I'm sorry, I don't believe in outer space. I don't. These fools ain't figured out how to get out of this firmament. Because if they did, half of them would done been escaped and made a movie somewhere on another planet.
Yeah, there's, government documentation of them trying to get out of the firmament. Didn't work out so well.
Yeah, I actually seen an article today about Greenland and the Iceland thing because I'm still very curious as to what this whole Greenland thing is. I know we have bases probably underground in Greenland, but if you go, this was a guy who was Google Earth, and me and Shannon get on Google Earth, and we just go roaming. You'd think we were on vacation, the way we're looking at stuff when we get on there. We got on yesterday together, Google Earth, and then we couldn't even have a conversation. We just got distracted on Google Earth and just got quiet. If you go to Iceland, like right next to Greenland, and you just click on some of them little blue dots, well, guess what you see, Shannon?
What's that?
The exact same terrain that you see from the Mars rover. And
Oh, yes.
and there just happens to be a NASA van there and a NASA rover. And all you gotta do is put a cute shade of red on it, and look, you got the red planet.
Yep, that is correct.
No, Cash, I fully believe you have solved the problem. I have fought with this little gremlin for a while, and I moved my desk over here to just plug, and that makes complete sense because it's It's got an adapter on there because it's just an old two-prong plug. Smart man. I'll just move it. I'll move a surge protector over to another outlet. Some have been redone, some haven't.
It's interesting because there are a lot of Native American stories and lore, mythology, whatever you want to call it, that literally speak of these mountain ranges as beings and like gods. And they have a whole history of these different gods and what happened in, all of these situations. They're very interesting to look into. I've looked into my local stories and some other ones and places that I've traveled to, and it gives you more ideas of which are trees, which are beings of different kinds. And then there's the Book of Og, right, where he's literally talking about they are in this huge, massive battle, this war, hacking each other up as the great deluge is taking place. So as it is flooding the world, they're still at war and just hacking each other up. And there are places that you can like one of my favorite examples would be maybe in like Utah or in that kind of region where it just looks like these rocks are big hunks of flesh. I mean, they really do. They just look like big giant hunks of flesh. Like, where did this terrain come from? I mean, it even has the color of it. You know, it's it's like set in stone, but it's hunks of flesh, and it just makes me think of the King Og's depiction of them hacking each other up as the flood is going down. So if there's just body parts that gets caught into the whole mud flood mix, that's what you got. I know
Well,
that's a little disturbing.
no. When you think about other cultures, other places to live up under different governments and different regimes and different information systems, we are in America. If you didn't know, most of us are in America, folks. And in this country, um, our textbooks, our education system, everything has been controlled. The information has been controlled. People in other countries do not learn the same world history that we were given. We were given this manufactured peanut butter and jelly. Don't let them ask questions because they might figure it out. And so we are now, here we are in 2026, trying to figure out what happened in zero and before, because everything we've been told or shown, the majority of it was a lie, and there were omissions, like we talk about with the Pluribus show. They're not telling you the truth. And we have, and this is a me thing, this is one of my theories. We talk about it all the time. Up is down, left is right. The things they told you not to do, like you don't need that, it's bad for you or it's not good for you. Take a second look at that.
Oh, here's a great example. I mean, just like in your face. I don't know how many of you guys were around in the 80s and 90s, but there's this whole back and forth thing about eggs for the longest time,
Hmm.
right? Like eggs are bad cholesterol, blah blah blah, and then they had a whole ad campaign with commercials and everything about it. And then they had to retract it and they went back and they're like, eggs got a bad rap. Remember that? Oh my God, I'm so old. It's
Would
okay.
you
But anyway,
have I ever explained to you how they come up with the marker for testing cholesterol?
yes, but you should re explain.
Okay, folks, there is no marker for good or bad cholesterol on a blood test. If they tell you, oh, your cholesterol's high, it's 200, you're going to die. No, it ain't. Mine's 621 right now. I ain't dead yet. Just saying, folks. I have 600 cholesterol. We're hoping
Yes.
it's a blood work anomaly. But
See, though, they tell you that Because what Big E was saying is the brain is made of cholesterol.
They
They
got to give
don't
you
want your
statins.
brain to function.
Yeah, they want to give you statins. The way they come up with this contrived number of what normal cholesterol should be, and I put that in big old quotation marks, should be, they took 1,000 people, added them all together, divided by 1,000, and come up with an average. It didn't matter if they were 6 years old, 60 years old, 60 pounds, or 400 pounds. It did not matter. They took 1,000 people and averaged it. And that's where they come up with your contrived LDL cholesterol number. Listen, my cholesterol has been perfect for a long time. I had blood work done the other month, and it was like 600. It brings it up because Shanna's been riding my butt like, "Are you getting your blood work done?"
That's right.
I mean, if my cholesterol was actually 600, I'd probably have like lard coming out of my ears at this point.
That's true. So very true.
I think it was an anomaly in the blood work, but
Mhm.
because of that, I've now gone down the cholesterol rabbit hole. There's a lot of things that you need to go. They've not told you the truth about how your body works, about the things that are actually good for your body. Do you know why they took and made they they done the same thing with tobacco that they did with cannabis? They
Mhm.
they don't want you to have it because your body has a receptor system for it. If your body has a receptor system for it, it means it is a positive force on the body. Now, I'm not talking about all the chemicals they put in tobacco with cigarettes, but the actual tobacco plant is good for your body before it's altered and chemicaled and, the Reynolds family puts all their stuff in. I said that out loud. I didn't use the word. My bad.
Well, here's another example. And again, I bring back the 80s and 90s where butter, right, had such a bad rap because of what? Cholesterol and fat. And everything, especially in the 90s, was all about that reduced fat, light, like fake foods. They were pushing this on us for a while. But what they did, right? What did they substitute it for? Margarine. Margarine doesn't melt. Margarine doesn't even disintegrate. It doesn't break down like natural. It is essentially like a plastic. And so they have then said, "Oh, this is better for you and you won't gain weight and all your cholesterol things will be just fine. Just eat our plastic
What would you
spreadable
like to know where margarine come from?
stuff." Right?
I know some really odd facts, y'all. Um,
Oh, let's go.
Here we go. Turkeys. They were trying to figure out how to increase the growth rate of chickens and turkeys. Like, hey, Diana, to try to get them to,
Can't believe it's not butter. Sorry, guys.
yeah,
Yep.
to fatten up and grow really quick. They had come up with this margarine. It wasn't margarine then, but it was basically, what margarine is supposed to be. They would add it to the food pellets or whatever to get the turkeys to eat it, to get them fattened up quicker. They could harvest them more cycles in a year. It killed all the turkeys. It
Oh, so let's
literally
give it
killed
to
all.
the humans.
Well, they had invested over $3 million in this. Now we talking back probably 70, I think it was 60s, 70s. $3 million back then was probably 16 million now. But so they just added butter flavoring to it, sold it to the humans as parquet.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
saying.
goodness, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, they've been doing this for a long time. And it's interesting now, right? Because of all the greenhouse emissions there and this whole thing against cows.
Cow
Like
farts.
it's all cow farts, guys. And, to get down our carbon footprint and all that, you shouldn't be eating beef or having dairy because it's not sustainable. So, what are they making butter out of, guys?
Mhm.
Gases, pollution. They are literally creating butter now out of pollution in the air and gases.
Well, here's your
Mm.
Shannon and I are starting an unlearning moment, which is something we want you all, when we say unlearn it, go investigate. This is mine for today. Go do some research and see how much meat it would take for the golden arches to supply the supply they supply for one day and then multiply it. It is humanly impossible for them to have that much beef and pork.
Which brings back to the blood libel thing I told you all to look up on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They ain't that many cows Spartan in this world, folks.
Mm-mm.
I'm telling you.
Everything they've been telling us is just what they want, what they think we want to hear. So we keep consuming their stuff. And this is why it's probably, the whole scheme behind taking out that one passage in the Bible where Jesus tells you to fast and pray.
Did you know if you're hungry and you walk outside and ground yourself to the earth and give it a few minutes, you won't be hungry anymore? I did not know this until the other day. So
I did not know that either.
yesterday I let myself get hungry, like hungry. I went outside and stood outside barefooted. And within just a couple of minutes, that sensation that I wanted to go eat, it just passed. I went another 4 or 5 hours before I even got the notion I wanted to eat again.
No, I mean, don't get us wrong. We're not telling you to never eat again.
No.
Anything like that. But it is this fasting thing is so important because there's just so much that has been inundated in our food spiritually and physically that we gotta purge out of our bodies. And I'll tell you, the last 6 months, I've been fasting so much when it comes to my normal everyday. And there are moments where I decide, oh, I'm going to go crazy. And my body says, no, it's now like you have gone plenty of time without this. What are you doing? And it's just immediate ejection. So your body will get used to not having this poison. I can promise you.
Well, see, I equate the human body to working much like an automobile, because I equate everything to an automobile. But if you go to the gas station and you fill up with high test, but it's a crappy gas station and they got water in their gas, where you gonna get down the road, it's gonna start skipping and sputtering, and might cut off, and you have to pull over. If you ain't careful, you got to go to a shop somewhere, go home and drain the gas tank, and get the water out. That's the same thing with your body with crappy food. Your body cannot run efficiently if it's having to process out all these extra chemicals and all this extra trash. And like I said, I'm sitting here with a Mountain Dew in front of me. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite.
Right.
We all have to be more observant of what we're doing, because the human body works best when you're feeding it sunshine, the right frequency, and grounding yourself.
And good water. Water is really still important. And I
Natural
do
water.
think natural water. And that there's something to be said with putting fruits in your waters because it gives you electrolytes. The water is not really as useful without electrolytes. It's kind of dead. It still will give you some refreshment and, some hydration, but it's not really actually doing the hydration it's supposed to be doing.
Mike, you are dead on the money. My grandma was a good old southern little lady of about maybe 5 foot, but she would dust you up so she cracked you in the head with a frying pan any day of the week. But that woman worked on a farm in tobacco up until she was probably 60, right at 60 years old, and she could outwork me. Like, I mean, she outworked most young men all day long. She fried everything in lard, and which now we had our own hogs, we had our own cow, we had our own garden, we had chickens and pheasants and guineas and all kind of critters running around there. We didn't have a farm, but she had a little homestead, and like everything was natural. And my granddaddy lived until he was almost 80, and this is a man that served 2 tours in the Korean War and had knots in his elbow the size of softballs that had to be trained on a regular at the VA clinic, and had 2 hip replacements. And, I mean, these 2 people lived right on up in age and smoked a pack of cigarettes a day their whole life. But they
Yep.
but they eat natural. What you put in, you can't put cheap gas in a race car and expect it to go fast. It just don't work that way. It's not gonna work that way.
I don't know if any of you guys remember several years back, there was this whole lawsuit against the company Naked. They get like the naked juices
Uh-huh.
that were supposed to be like all natural and yada yada and organic and blah blah blah. Well, they found out that they had these weird fibers in them and people were discovering them, and so they sued the company like, hey, this isn't all natural if you've got all these weird fibers in it.
What is
And you find out later that PepsiCo actually owns Naked now, so you have to also really do your homework on who owns the company if it says it's natural or organic.
well,
I
would
found that out.
anybody in the audience like to take a guess and tell me where they get the active ingredient for energy drinks from?
Oh God, I know you're gonna tell me, and I don't want to hear it, but I need to hear it because that's my problem. Your Mountain Dew, my sugar-free Red Bull, but I'm trying to get off of it.
Um,
Go.
okay,
It's do with
everybody hold
sugar.
on. If you got one, set it down. I do not want you to stain your carpet or your furniture when I tell you this. Set it down.
Supposedly, though, sugar-free Red Bull is not one of those guys. They
Yes, it
say
is.
they. Shh. Okay,
Shannon,
go ahead.
love what's on Red
Okay,
Bull,
I'm
okay?
just gonna be.
Pee-pee. The active ingredient comes from pee-pee, urine.
Oh, that's also. I thought you were gonna say this bull sperm.
Mm-mm. No.
Because that's chlorine.
One of one of the one of the byproducts at water treatment plants that treat sewer, one of those byproducts that they must dispose of is one of the main ingredients in your energy drinks. So you are drinking stranger urine when you drink an energy drink, especially the one that starts with a C and the thermometer one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that
throw
was
those
really bad.
out the window.
And I ain't even
Uh,
gonna lie, I used to love some Red Bull. Okay, Ryan, you gonna sit out there in the audience and you listening and you ain't gonna say nothing in chat, but you gonna text me. I love you too, boo boo.
Hi Ryan.
Oh, he's out there. Chris is out there too somewhere listening. I don't know who else is listening. We have quite a few people that listen and never speak up in chat. We love you. You can say anything you want to. We're a family here. We talk about everything, don't we, guys? Not
Yep.
in a man. I just have to tell you that I've seen some of your bracelets lately, and they are amazing. I still got to get a drawing together, but if you haven't checked Diana's channel out, Diana makes homemade, or I say homemade, handmade copper bracelets. They are amazing.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to get one.
I'm in line first. Back up. I'll pay
Okay.
for it.
calm down. I can be patient. That's funny. Well, just to kind of swing it back a little bit to these data centers, I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up on what to look for in your area to let you know that you're more than likely going to be getting some data centers put in the next 4 years. Okay. And these are important to look for. If you see a lot of construction stuff on city roads dealing with the electrical stuff, you see a lot of water, you know, companies out there doing random stuff.
Uh-oh. One of us buzzed out. I don't know, guys. If you can hear me, give me a 5x5 mic. Shannon looks like her mic froze on us again. I'm telling you, we got demons chasing us in here. We rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Go away. Can anybody hear me? Anybody at all? Shannon, can you hear me, dear? Okay, everybody can hear me. Shannon, you're locked up, honey. I reckon your mic's locked up. She was talking about the infrastructure for the data centers. We're seeing you'll start seeing the power and water infrastructure being changed up. I don't know. I'm telling you guys, we've had some serious mic issues on both sides of this. 5 3/8 by 5 1/8. Now that's bigger than a needed biggie. That's a little larger than a 5 by 5, honey. We were going for a specific size. Anyway, I don't know. Shannon, yep, see, she jumped out. She'll be back in a second. Yeah, Shannon, I think her tablet that she's working on's overheating. See, there she comes. Dun 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 dun.
I
Governor,
don't know what happened. I don't know where you all lost me.
you were overheating. We lost you a long time ago
Oh,
when we were
lovely.
talking about infrastructure.
Well, just if you, I don't know what you were saying. Maybe you were going on the Dollar General um
Uh,
direction, but
I ain't got there yet.
well, it's basically it's important to look out for, a lot of work being done with city resource infrastructure. If you see that near your house or in your area, more than likely your area is going to be pulling resources for a data center. If you are finding that the city that you live in has more of these satellite systems on your traffic lights, or more and more restaurants and convenient type of centers where everything is right there within walking distance, just popping up all over the place, you're in line to have a smart city within the next 4 years. So these are important things to look at because it's going to, one, affect the amount that you're paying in your everyday bills, and two, your whole entire social structure is going to change, and it's setting up for a technocracy situation where if you don't have that digital, paperwork, you know what I'm saying, and you don't go along with, the technocracy rules, you won't be able to be any further than the 15 minutes of your convenience.
Well, if anybody out there doesn't know what the flock camera system is and how it works, and it is FLOCK. And I'll type it in the chat. These are the camera systems that they're putting up in cities and everywhere now. Oh, now Siri has decided she want to try to talk to me. I'm busy, girl. You gotta wait a minute. Um, they can. Everybody know. Well, the regulars, you know what my daughter does. So I have a little bit of knowledge about them and how they work from the inside. They can literally, in these smart cities, they put these flock cameras up and their system will automatically detect gunshots, whether it was automatic, whether it was, an automatic weapon, what direction it come from, how many times it was shot. It can differ. It can tell the difference between a pew pew and a firework, and it can tell the difference in all kind of things. Yeah, there is all kind of things that it can tell. Like, they can go back and look at those cameras and check for tag numbers, or if they want to go in and look for a 2012 white BMW and see if ones went through there. I mean, there's a lot of information they can pull from these things already in these non-smart cities.
Yeah. You guys remember that movie Enemy of the State with like Will
Mhm.
Smith and I can't remember his name right now. But anyways, yeah. I mean, this was I think in the late 90s or early 2000s, and they were showing you in that movie that they already have satellites that can pinpoint like a needle in a haystack. you know, and recognize where that needle was
Uh,
manufactured at.
They got a satellite that can find that needle, but they can't find all them PDFs out there running around
Right?
locked up.
Yeah.
They can find
So
everything except what we need them to find.
exactly.
They can't find their butt from a hole in the ground, but they can find you if they want to put you behind bars.
Well, I can give you guys some information on 10, I think, yes, 10 new data centers that are popping up here in the country. So let me get that. I just wanted to let you guys know in case you didn't know if you live in this area. If I am allowed to go to it, if it'll show me. It's being difficult. Do. All right, I'm trying, but of course, it's
I,
not letting me
I have
get
an odd.
there.
I have another odd fact for you, Shannon. While we're waiting
What's
on
that?
you to look that up, take a guess how many words a minute I can read.
100,
Mm-mm.
200.
Mm-mm.
How many?
I took a test today because I was very curious as to this. Um, if it's put in the right, like I'm not reading it from a book, it's in the 250 to 300 mark. If
Mm-hmm.
it's digital on screen, I can read approximately 900 words a minute.
Dang, girl.
I've been training at it and I hit the 900 mark today and I'm like, yes.
That's pretty
That was
awesome.
completely irrelevant, y'all. That was a me and Shannon. I had to tell her. Can't find dirty police, politicians, and people abducting children, but they can find you and give you a ticket. Ain't
Right.
ain't it?
So I have the list now. Okay, so OpenAI's Stargate data center, developed by OpenAI and Oracle, will be in Albine or Abilene, Texas. I can't read, you guys. I'm so sorry. So that's going to happen. Then we have Vantage Frontier in Texas, and that's the Vantage data centers that's going in Shackelford County, Texas. Amazon, Pennsylvania, and AI innovation campuses, and that is going in Salem and Falls. TWPS. I don't know what that is, in Pennsylvania. Amazon campuses in multiple not North Carolina counties. It just says multiple North Carolina counties. Meta Monroe, which is in Louisiana by Meta Platforms, that's in Richland Parish, Louisiana. We have Compass Meridian Campus, data centers, sorry. That's Lauderdale County in, what is MS? Minnesota? Or no, that's MD.
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Sorry,
Mississippi. Yeah, my crooked letter.
Right? Okay, so you got one coming in Mississippi.
We have 3 coming in South Carolina.
Yep, that's correct. And then there is I just said that one. The Collegics in Johnstown. I don't know what that is, but it's another data center. And that's going to be in Johnstown in Ohio. And then there's the one in Racine County, Wisconsin, and that's Microsoft.
Racine? Really?
Racine County. That's correct.
Go look that one up. That one goes like 40 levels below the earth. It's like our movies that we can never remember the name of, the Umbrella Corporation.
Resident Evil. I remembered.
Yes.
I remembered.
There's you a map on the screen, Shannon, of all the little red dots globally.
Right.
We are this little over here. But that's the US.
So, yeah. And that's Microsoft and Mount Pleasant. Mm-hmm. But Microsoft is heading up that data center, which I find, because we know the Billy Goat guy has a lot to do with that company. And then we got more Amazon and Sunbury campuses in Sunbury, Central Ohio. And then Google and Lincoln. So Google, but Lincoln, it doesn't even say. It just says Lincoln. That's weird. It doesn't give you a state. It just says Lincoln.
Could be anywhere. Yeah,
but
Racine, Wisconsin, and they have recently changed their whole town branding and everything to a beehive, and nobody in town knows why it's a beehive, but that's also where Johnson & Johnson is.
That's correct.
Racine, Wisconsin is very, very interesting. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, go dig that one.
Their data centers are already under construction as we speak.
Their data centers have been there for years. They just
I'm sure
up now and make out like it's been there.
They're just building them up, probably making them more fancy.
Side note over here on a text I got. Just got having a side conversation over here about the pink stuff we used to drink. In that little gifted and talented program we were educated in. And it was more than just fluoride. It was LSD and Pepto-Bismol, so it wouldn't hurt your tummy and it wouldn't burn out too quick. In that movie Men in Black, that little blinky light they got, that's essentially what they did to us every morning. They blinky lighted us.
Yep. And of course the truth serum too. I mean, there's a few elements
and multiple
microdosed. Yep. And here's the thing. It's not even the stuff that you don't remember. I like to point out that false memories are a thing. And I encourage people to think back in school and maybe some moments that you remember and see if it really does feel right. Like if that memory is really right or not. I've discovered in a few instances of some very traumatic memories I've had in elementary school and and in junior high and a few other situations, but one in particular in elementary school, where it really turns out what I remembered from it. And every time I told the story, it's like I could still feel everything happening, but it never seemed right. It seemed like it wasn't real. And it turns out it wasn't. It was a whole other kind of scenario, but I had been given a false memory of it, of that trauma. So I encourage you guys, if you're interested, to look into some of these things in school that may seem a little off. They might be. You never know.
And Shannon and I are on this quest of unlearning. Hey, Super Sidewinder, good to see you tonight. Yeah, we're on this unlearning journey because there are so many things that we were taught back then, even simple things, American history, world history. Ryan, stop. I'm trying to speak. He's killing me over here. But so many things that we had learned as children and we just accepted wholeheartedly because we trusted the adults that were teaching us. But those adults that were teaching us were trusting the books that they had learned from. They were trusting their teachers from when they got their doctorates and their masters and all of that good stuff. And the sad thing is, those teachers had been taught out of a book written by Ghislaine Maxwell's daddy. He owned the book company. It's been a fabrication of control since the beginning.
I'm going to find the definition of academics one more time and read them off to you just so you know how
Please
they
do.
really feel about academics. It may take me a moment, so keep on a talking.
Well, we are just encouraging everybody that take the time to go unlearn. Don't accept anything from your childhood as fact. Go investigate it because we find more things every day that is just a contrived fictional story for control. And the thing was they what they told us that was supposed to be the truth is actually the fiction. And what they were handing to us as comic books and movies was actually the truth. It was the
Yeah.
parts of the holy book that they had deleted and were using for their own control. It's all about control.
And here it is. Here is the official definition of academics, guys: theoretical or hypothetical, not practical, realistic, or directly useful; learned or scholarly, but lacking in worldliness, common sense, or practicality; very learned, but inexperienced in practical matters; and fourth and final, having no practical or useful significance. So while they continuously distract us with the pursuit of academics, even though they very well understand it has no usefulness whatsoever, they are deterring us from our real spiritual mission in this world. So
I
don't get caught up in those books. Get
I have seen so many doctors, physicians, nurses, surgeons coming out that are now awake. And since they've awakened, they've realized that everything they were told was wrong. Like, I spoke to someone the other day who has been a hands on massage therapist for quite some time. She had no idea what I was she never talked about it before, and I guess she never looked it wasn't that she was ignorant of it, but she just didn't know it. Your lymphatic system in your body cannot drain itself. It does not have a pump. It does not have any of that. The only way your lymphatic system in your body drains is with movement. That's why as we get older, the inflammation gets worse because we don't move as much. You don't see little kids complaining about their knees hurting because they're all the time running. So as an adult, when we slow down moving, our lymphatic system slows down draining. But there's a trick: bouncing. Bouncing up and down like on a trampoline or something of that nature actually causes your lymphatic system to pump. So
Huh.
all you have to do is stand up against the wall, you know what I mean? Like feet on the floor, and lift yourself up on your toes and back down and up and down and up and down and up and down, just kind of bouncing in place. And it actually stimulates the draining of your lymphatic system.
I wonder if skipping does the same thing. That used to
Any
be my favorite thing.
Yep, anything that causes the body to go up and down, because you actually just have to cause the fluid to bounce. Think of your lymph nodes as like little water balloons under your arms, behind your knees, in your groin, in your neck, and you need them to bounce, and when you get them to bounce, the fluid starts moving and it starts draining. I had no idea of this until a little while back, and I mean, I had lymphoma, which we now know is parasites, but I had lymphoma, but when those parasites get in, and your body can't disperse of it, I had thyroid pain and stopped using anything with Kerrigan. It went away and hasn't come back. If you have thyroid
Hmm.
issues, look at your iodine. You
But
can
Carrigan might be something that sucks the iodine out, you know?
It may be. I actually just put iodine on my arm because I had lymphoma and they shot me with radiation from my nose to my hip bones. I had tumors inside of me the size of baseballs. Didn't know it. Was still working 60 hours a week, running 5 miles a day, raising two teenagers. I was running a car dealership. I hadn't had time to have cancer. I had other stuff to do. By the time I finally figured out that I was sick, it had moved my heart out of position. They were so big. Didn't know it. But I have now found out because they radiated my thyroid, doesn't work right. I found out my iodine level was off. You can order these Q-tips off of Amazon. You probably get 2 or 300 of them for like 6, $7. Each Q-tip is loaded with iodine. Each one is individually wrapped. You push it out and you pop the end of one Q-tip. It's got a little red line. The iodine in the hollow of the stick flows to the other one, and you just rub it on your arm, just like you're being prepped for surgery. If your body will only absorb what it needs. It will not over absorb. It'll sit on your skin for several hours and slowly intake it. If you put it on your arm and it disappears very quickly, that means your iodine's low. And so what I do with them is I put it on every day until, the patches stay as long as they're supposed to stay. It's 3 or 4 hours. And if they're not staying 3 or 4 hours, I put it on every day. Once it starts, I back off every other day. But it actually helps my thyroid, and I'm not having to take any of those things that those people in the white coats give you. No, thank you.
Silence there for a moment.
Yeah, we had silence. What? Anybody got any questions out there tonight? Anybody got anything they've seen on the news they want to talk about?
Well, I can tell you that there was another supposed pew pew incident in the same town as previous, and
He got shot in the shin.
yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, but
He shouldn't have been there acting
being
stupid.
it's definitely, causing more chaos. And the one guy is saying, "Oh, the Insurrection Act, I should put it on you." So, there's that.
Listen, I've been watching this Nick Shirley kid, who I honestly, truly believe is more like one of us. He went today around in that area. He's the one that broke out about the daycare thing. Well, he's now found out. You know how when somebody has Medicaid or Medicare or whatever, and they need medical transportation. They call a van, they come pick them up, take them to their appointment, and bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
He found one place today that has supposedly been in business since 1999 at an address being paid by our government through Medicare for medical transport. The company doesn't even exist
Oh,
since 1999.
is that the one in San Diego, out of curiosity?
Mm-mm, this is in the same place where all this other stuff's going on with the Somalians.
Oh, that's interesting because that just came out in San Diego, and this guy almost got trafficked through that, and it was the same exact scenario. But he went for a job to be like to help and be a transporter, and they were going to snatch him, but he caught on and like got away. So that's interesting.
I love me some Nick Shirley, and yes, Diana, I do believe he is a little bit autistic, but around my house, we call it being special with a touch of autism because we all got a touch of autism. Everybody's is just a little bit different. This is why I can read 900 words a minute. I got a touch of autism. He's a good young man, and but he has now come to the point that he has exposed that this is the way the scheme works. They own the doctor's office, which is turning in fake billing. Not only are they turning in fake billing, but let's just say we're going to call the patient Mary. Mary has Medicaid. Mary is an illegal immigrant that has Medicaid, and she has it for her child. And her child go to medical clinic. Well, because they are not from here, they don't speak English, Medicaid will pay for an interpreter. But in order for an interpreter to come to Mary and her child, the interpreter has a minimum 8-hour rate of $150 an hour. So Mary has called for a medical van to come and transport her to the medical clinic where the interpreter will meet her, and then the van will take her back home. Mary had a sore throat. It has just cost the U.S. taxpayer $2,800 because Mary had a sore throat and couldn't go get chloroseptic. Mary never, and just in case you missed some part of what I'm saying here, Mary never left her house. Mary never had a sore throat. Mary probably never existed. There are airport workers right now that are coming out whistleblowing saying that they were told to keep their mouths shut of these Somalians toting millions of dollars worth of cash through the Minnesota airport for years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The quantity of what we even believe is going on with our children and where they're disappearing to, because I'm trying not to get this whole episode burnt and shut down. If you think if you think you know anything about that, because we all know how bad this is. If you're our viewer, you know about it, you know what kind of powers are out there that are working. We don't know 3% of that. The money that has disappeared out of this country to help fund that and all the other things, we don't know 3% of that either. As much as we know, because we are knowing, us peoples, our viewers, all of y'all, because you're with us all the time, we still don't know much. We have only scratched the surface of the depravity that these people have created in this world. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox, Shannon.
No, you're good. We always are like, sorry, sorry, but we're always I always encourage the soapbox moments because we need it. We need our moments to just go, look, here's what I got to say. At least that's
Well,
my.
it it drives me so crazy sometimes to I wanna go be a Nick Shirley. I wanna go somewhere and be exposing this, but I guess the good Lord is seeing that I'm supposed to be here helping raise my grandbabies and do this via the internet. Because 'cause I'm telling you, if I could, and I'm seriously considering taking on some things locally, but I'm not quite sure if I should stick my head up with the occupation of my roommate, we'll say. Because I'd like to put my accounting skills to work here locally and create my own Doge. Because I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure yeah. I found some golf clubs and some other things that have been ordered on government money that last time I checked, you ain't supposed to be ordering no golf clubs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But you know how it is when you stick your head up, somebody will come swat you. So I don't want to endanger her career by just being a a B word. I'm good at
Well,
being a B word.
raising awareness for maybe more and more to come together in your community isn't always a bad thing. You know.
Well, hello, James. I've never seen you speak in our chat before, I don't believe, James. Hello, welcome. Oh, show of hands. Is anybody actually going to file taxes this year?
That is not up to me. I have my other half, and he deals with that. Yep. I'm an independent contractor. The way I do taxes is a whole nother ball game. And because I am not really working in a salon and doing that kind of thing much anymore, I don't really.
And Lord have mercy, I know we ain't making no money off of here because I think me and Shannon go in the hole about $150 a month to do this.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Alicia, hello, James, and welcome. We are here
Welcome.
4 days a week. If you're new, and anybody else out there who is new, I'll tell you this while we're on here. We are affiliated with the Supernatural Show Network. You see up in the upper right hand corner little thing. That is a group show of a whole bunch of us that are like minded and um we're not all identical. We all have autonomy of what we're, discussing, and we don't all agree on everything, but it is called the Supernatural Show. That is on Monday and Friday afternoons. Tuesday and Thursday night, Shannon and I are on the air together with, I guess you could say, we don't necessarily have a my show and a her show. We both got a show, but we're always together.
Yep. It's
We
more
just
like
got
we
two
have
channels.
separate channels. Yeah,
We got
but
two
we're
channels
on
to
them
broadcast this on.
together all the time. I know eventually I will get to do some more lives once I can finally get out of the bed prison I am in right now. But you know, because none of you want to just see me talk in my bed. That's really not that exciting. But
Uh-uh.
soon enough, I'll get out and do a few lives and try and get out there with that. But yeah, we're pretty much on together because it's way more fun that way.
Yeah, and then sometimes you'll get the random Roxy on a Tuesday morning in the greenhouse who has one of them strange thoughts that I feel like I need to share with somebody. James, you are from Charleston. Well, welcome. You are about 2 hours from me. You're right there next door to my sister. Alicia, you came from Daniel. I think I've seen you over at the Daniels channels. Um, I don't blame you, Cash. I do too. Has been off to the public for months. Isn't that shady? I don't know. I don't know where your local is. They've put a lot of that stuff on the internet, but if they're completely shutting it down so citizens can't hear, yeah, that is a little shady. But I ain't even gonna lie about this. Like people on Facebook, we have these groups around here like what's happening in, Myrtle Beach or whatever in your town. And the lady that gets on there time one patrol car comes by her house with a blue light. And she's like, oh my God, a patrol car just come by here. Does anybody know what's going on? So, me being the smart ASS that I am, I got on there and said, probably their job.
Oh, Diana says that James is her other half.
Well,
Oh,
welcome, James.
welcome, James.
We love Diana here. So if Diana
Yes.
has allowed you into our family, welcome, James, because
Yes.
she is the queen over there. Because she is one of our queens. So
That's
welcome.
right.
Welcome, dear.
Lucky man you are.
Yes, you are. We love our people here. Oh, 98-year-old father still kicking at 98. Amen.
Woo! See, he must have eaten some good
He
natural foods.
his mama probably gave him castor oil and fried everything in lard. Just
Yeah.
saying. Just saying. Because that's the way it worked. Them was the good folks. That's why they never had heart attacks or strokes because their veins was just slam jam greased up.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, both of my grandparents on my father's side, they all lived in their 80s, like well into their 80s, and did pretty good. But all three of their sons ended up passing away way too early in life due to cancer. And I do think, a lot of it has to do with how things changed in the processing of the foods throughout that time period that my grandparents grew up and then my parents grew up. And, I mean, of course, you add in they were quite well into the whole hippie thing and did a lot of substance abuse,
See, I
so
think I would have made a
regardless.
fantastic hippie.
But my
Just-
grandparents were pretty hardcore alcoholics, I mean, it's not like they didn't party and, you know, do that kind of thing, but they still lived well on into years and had to watch their children pass away. It was kind of a sad thing.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
And it happens in families. And Shannon and I had a long talk about the cycles of dysfunction in families, and it tends to carry on from generation to generation. That there's a lot of things in families that just get swept up under the rug or not discussed because it didn't used to be something you discussed. But there's a lot of stuff now we just need to bring on out and throw it on the dining room table and say, hey, this right here ain't acceptable and we ain't doing that no more. Because I'm telling you, I was personally offended. I watched this TikTok video the other day, and it was a whole group of women. And the question was, would you kill somebody to protect your child? And like the first 4 or 5 women, which were from northern states, hesitated. Some said no. But when you ask a southern woman if she would kill for her child, her answer was, I'll kill for mine, yours, or a stranger's.
See, I don't think that's just a Southern thing. That's just a good mom thing because that would have been my answer
No,
100%. But I
I'm going to
do
take,
have a theory that we here in Southern California are still part of the South. It's just a whole different side.
absolutely.
That's all.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that all northern people are like that by any means. This just happened to be the comparative the young
Right.
man made on his TikTok video. And that's a person issue, but how anybody in this day and time could say that they wouldn't do that to protect their child. That we got
Think
to do some unlearning with these folks.
think about the fact that at the DNC back a little while ago, they were passing out, the opportunity to unalive your unborn child for free. So that is
Uh
unfortunately a mentality that we fight against in this
does everybody
nation.
understand that you can get that at the corner gas station now?
Wait, what? The French toast,
Ye
did you just say?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I did not know this. I'm a 50-year-old woman. I did not know this until the other day, and I was shook, girl. I was completely shook. This was within the actual thing wasn't within reach of a child. You had to take the card and go to the counter at the gas station. Like there's a speedy whatever right down the road from my house. Willie and I went, this was like right around New Year's. Because, I haven't been here but a month. I don't go out there to the red light because it's kind of hard to get in and get out. It's a bigger store. But we walked in, and it was one of those random, we go out there and we got snacks and we've picked up donuts and all kind of horrible stuff. There's a long line.
Okay,
There's one poor guy working in the store on New Year's Eve trying to make pizza and run the store. So, as we're standing there in line, you kind of start doing this, like looking around and wondering. Well, behind the register, the front wall has like one of those little display walls with the Motrin and the tile and all, the individual packs.
Mm-hmm.
And about that time, out of nowhere, Willie like elbowed me, and I'm pretty sure he probably left a bruise. He hit me so hard, and he had this look on his face, and he just pointed. There was like 3 or 4 pegs there that had a card that you could take to the front. One was for Plan B. The other was for the little blue pill.
Oh, okay. That I literally was thinking they had one of those vans literally at the gas station, but regardless, that is really disturbing.
Oh,
Super
no.
disturbing.
If you are 16 years old, you can walk up, pull that card off the wall, and hand it to the gas station clerk who will give you an abortion pill.
Oh, that is not okay
Mm-mm.
at
That
all.
is not okay. But cannabis is illegal in this state.
I
You can get an
just
abortion
what?
at the gas station, but you can't get cannabis. That
I
is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life.
am so sad. This is so sad. It's like right up there with the mouse guy,
Mhm.
having medical centers for children to get their parts cut off while their staff is dressed in fairy tale outfits.
Mhm.
It's like, where the heck are we going? This world. Okay, I know where we're.
Well, I done
Guys,
told you, girl, my
gotta
daughter
bring the
done had
light.
to change dentist because of me losing my stuff about this. Please, I mean, this was a man. This was a man, born as a man, looked like a man, talked like he was somewhere in between. But when I said, yes, I made my granddaughter say, yes, sir, and he went to the they and the them, I will not, and I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but I will not use a they them pronoun. When you remove identity and you start calling them they and them, you have done nothing more than open the door for a demon. I will not.
You've gone into the joining. No, just kidding.
Well,
Just
and
repeat that.
I probably would not have lost it if shortly thereafter he hadn't tried to spray fluoride in her mouth without asking.
Yeah, I just, we really need to pray for these lost souls. I'd like to remind our audience that I truly believe that nobody is completely lost until the end. And you always have that chance to repent and come to Jesus and to really change your life around for God and live for God. You are never too far gone. And I just, for anybody who needs to hear that out there, I just want you to know that even if it's someone you love that you worry about, even if it's just the way this world has turned, it is never too late. And we just got to pray for all of these lost souls to come back to God, because we're
To
here
wake
with
up,
open arms, man. We're
wake
here with
up.
open arms.
And remember, we are here with Roxy and Shannon. We are a family. We are a community. We are here to support and help and love each other. We are, I'm a Himalayan, Himalayan. See somebody else.
Yeah.
Hello, Gina. Nice to meet you. Glad you could join us. Glad to see you chatting. But we are a community here. We are here to support each other because going through this uh, avalanche of knowledge that we are under, it is a lot. It can be isolating. And conversation with those around you can be like talking to NPCs. We get it. We understand. That's what we're here for. We try to do this 4 out of 5 days a week, and it's here to bring information, and we're also here for community, for conversation, for support, for prayer, for love, and to remind each and every one of us to spread love. If you don't do anything except smile at a stranger, compliment somebody you see on their outfit, their shoes, their purse, their hair, their eyes, their whatever, just be nice, and you will watch the smile you gave multiply on them. Love multiplies when you spread it.
It reminds me of that Tears for Fears song. Sowing the seeds of love, right? Everybody else? You know the song. No.
I'm not singing, Shannon. I can do the Delilah by voice, but I'm not singing.
Oh, it's okay. If you don't sound good, it's all about the joy of singing. I'm not really at my best, but whatever. It reminds me of a song. I swear I'm a walking jukebox. It's a problem. I know.
Are those wee woos on your side?
Yeah. Here, let me mute for a second.
No, you're good. Hey, wee woos are a part of life now. Wee woo,
Yeah,
wee
see,
woo.
I'm usually in my studio. It's just this last week, and with my physical challenges and my perseverance, I am still here doing this show just in a different form. So you might have to hear some more of my life noises around me. Sorry about that.
It's all right, girl. We ain't worried about no life noises. That's the real world. And James, thank you for joining us tonight and becoming a part of our family. Thank you for
Come
speaking up in
back.
chat.
Come back. Please. No, that
And
was
and
a
if you
guess.
choose not to come back, we will still be partaking of your wife's present
Yes.
2 nights a week. She's ours. Don't even try nothing. I will drive down there and put a pimp to limping because Diana's ours 2 nights a week. Just saying. Not playing. I love me some Diana. Not playing with you, James.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so funny.
All right, guys.
Yay,
We kept
see,
you almost two
Diana's got
hours.
my
We'll get out of
back.
here.
But Diana's got my back.
Yeah.
She's singing it now. That's right. See? What? That's right. Thanks, Diana.
Now, James, you're gonna have to hear it all night. That I am forever sorry about if Shannon started that and it's stuck in Diana's head and she can't stop.
Hey, at least it's a good song
It's a
about
good song.
sowing
It's a good
seeds of
song.
love, and it's right on what we were talking about. It's a good song to have stuck in your head.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out of here.
Good night. Love you all. And
Supernatural show tomorrow, Shannon.
yeah, I'll be there if hopefully if I can make it out of this bed with assistance, I will do my very best because I can't do it on this tablet thing.
All right, I'm gonna be on the move tomorrow. I'm switching over to farm location for the weekend, but I will do my best to be there, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.